You already know that. Hello to Wawaka Winery. This is the Wawaka Experience. And our guest this weekend is a good friend of mine, and they agreed to come out. I know he's been busy, and I appreciate he come out, but it's Todd Sherman, aka the Shermanator. But thanks for coming out, Todd. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
I'm glad you found your way out here. I know it's kind of, you weren't too sure about how to get here. As I'm out in the middle of a cornfield.
Magic phones work pretty good.
Yeah. You remember the day when we used to use maps?
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, those kids, I don't think a kid can read a map anymore. But, well, anyways, I wanted to have you on here because, you've been racing for many years, and you kind of let me tag along, me and my buddy Chris along. You've been dirt racing. For how many years have you been in dirt racing?
Since 2003. Before that, we done a little bit of dirt, but it was mostly asphalt.
Okay. So, how did this season go for you? I wasn't able. I've been so darn busy with different things. I've been able to usually do what I usually been doing. But how'd it go this year?
It went pretty good. We was third in the points championship at Lima, and was second at Montpelier. But we ended up. Me and my wife had went to Montana in September, and
I do remember that. Okay.
We done some racing out there, and I did end up winning a race out there, so that was pretty cool.
Well, that's cool. Montpelier and Lima Land, did you do any racing over at Gas City this year much, or every now and then?
Gas City is just on a limited schedule. They only run like sprint cars, so there was no modified races. We went to Kokomo.
Okay. Because you're mainly in the modified race. I forgot to mention that. You drive the modifieds.
Yeah, it's the open wheel modifieds. Yep.
Okay, so the modifieds to be in that class, it has to be open wheel. What are the rules? Because you got your street stock. Well, they call them thunder cars, and of course I know what those are. That's the junk I used to run. But you don't want me anything faster, I don't think, Todd. But then you have the late models, correct?
Yep.
And then so what are the modified? So what are the classifications to be a modified?
Well, the late models and the stock cars both have front fenders on them. Ours don't have any front fenders. The tires stick out in the open. There's a 2,400 pound weight rule. Other than that, the cars are pretty similar, except for the street stocks are like 3,000 pounds normally, and ours are only 2,400.
I see. So are those being a lighter weight? From class to class, what is the difficulty on it, or you probably can't compare them to each other?
Not really. The modifieds have a lot more motor setback, so where the front tires is versus the motor, we can go back like 21 inches farther than a normal street car or a street stock or whatever. So that's an advantage to have more weight on the back of the car for forward drive.
Yeah, I see. So I know it was always fun. When I had time, come out the track and watching you run, and everybody called you the Shermanator. Now I'm just curious, because I heard it, and I've known you 4 or 5 years. Really known you. I knew you before, but I didn't really know you. 4 or 5 years now. Maybe a little longer than that. But
yeah, we got a mutual friend, Chris.
Yes, yeah.
And you guys actually worked on my toter for me.
Yeah.
Twyla helped me. Twyla helped me get it, and it was in Montana. And then we actually ended up. She wired some money out, and then I paid her back. But when we got the toter back, you and Chris.
Yeah, me and Chris were crawling around.
Yeah, you guys put some vents on it and fixed it up a little bit for me, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, good thing I was an RV. I'm an RV rat.
Exactly.
Yeah, that refrigerator. There's a reason why that fridge wasn't working. It wasn't vented at all. I can't believe that thing never burnt down when they had it. It's a lot better shape now.
Yeah, it's a lot better shape.
You still have that, don't you?
Oh yeah.
That's a nice truck.
I really like that. That ended up being a really good buy, and what you and Chris done and Twyla helping me get it and all that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, where did the name Shermanator come from? I mean, did you just come up one day and they, call me Shermanator from now on. Where did the nickname come from?
Somebody else, I think somebody seen it in a movie somewhere, and then they're like, "Hey, you're the Shermanator."
I'd be back. Do you ever do that? I'd be back. Get to the chopper.
It finally stuck. Everybody, even people call me on the phone and they'll say, "Hey, Shermanator, what's up?"
Yeah. Everybody calls you Sherman. Well, I think. Where were you over at Eldora when you were? Or no, I can't remember what track it was when you and Wallace and who was the other bigger name that was running that day?
Kenny Schrader and Kenny Wallace.
you guys, because he even said something about the old Shermanator was kind of. It was that race was between that was fun to watch.
Yeah, that was a good race.
That was very fun to watch. It was you three battling back and forth, and it was good. It was good hometown racing.
Yeah, that was a good race. That race is actually on YouTube. My real name's Kenny. A lot of people don't know that, but my name.
Oh, your name? I didn't know that.
It's Kenneth Todd Sherman, but my parents always called me Todd instead of.
I never
Kenny
knew that.
Or Kenneth. So.
Well, I'll be darned. You learn something new every day. I'll be darned. Well, heck, that's neat.
So on that YouTube video, it's called The Battle of the Kennys. So you had Kenny Schrader, Kenny Wallace, and Kenny Sherman my boy put it on YouTube under The Battle of the Kennys. It really is a good race.
Well, I suggest anybody that loves racing, look that up on YouTube. The Kenny Battle.
The Battle of the Kennys.
Battle of Kennys. Because I tell you, I'm going to look it up tonight because I was there and it was a fun night. That was a fun race to watch.
It was funny after the race was over because Kenny Schrader, when they interviewed him, he ended up winning it, and he said, "I don't know if that was exciting from your seat, but it sure was from mine because I kept getting beside him and almost past him, and then here come Kenny Wallace at the end." But it was a really good race.
That was a fun race, and you've had a lot of good races. And I know it's different when you're in the car, but watching it, and I always had faith you were going to pull them out, and 9 times out of 10 you did. But it's almost more nervous to watch it than it is the actual. I mean, you've been in racing for years and years, so you pretty much got your shit.
Yeah, in the early days, I would get pretty nervous. Now I've done it so long that when I'm sitting in line, I'm ready to go. I want to race. The nerves ain't there, but I got some friends. When you had a good race, when your friends come up to you after the race and said, "I was watching and I had goosebumps on my arms."
Yeah, because I would go through the same thing. And me and Chris, whenever the heck we had time, we'd come out and. The most you'd let me do is scrape off mud because you didn't trust me enough to work on the car. But I don't think I really had anything new to add to your knowledge, anyways, other than how to look good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. I just came up with that. But what were the other? I heard that. Beasley, he was always going to race him. I heard did he go to pavement this year?
He did, and Tommy Beasley is my first cousin, and
oh, you're related to the Beasleys.
Yeah, and then
okay, I didn't know that.
My Uncle Tom was my mom's brother, so my mom raced, and my Uncle Tom raced, and their dad raced. So
okay, your mom raced.
Yeah, my mom drove cars, and my dad built the cars.
Okay, so how many years of racing altogether your family got?
Wow.
Then? I mean, if you add it all up, when did the Shermans first start getting into racing? You were born into this.
Yeah, there was actually a track at Big Lake that a lot of people don't know about.
I've heard of it.
The Big Lake
never
Speedway.
Knew about it, but yeah.
They actually put concerts on there and had races, and that was clear back in the 50s. And so my grandpa raced there in the 50s. So you're probably looking at 70 years, probably.
So we got 3 generations racers, and possibly 4.
Yeah, my son done some driving last year. He's been working with me in my business we build race cars, and we sell race car parts, so kind of goes. I took my hobby and actually turned it into a business.
And that business is called Sherman Enterprise, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so you've been every year, that's why I appreciate you coming out, as every off season. I know you're just hammered every year. You're busy again this year too.
Yeah, you called me 2 weeks ago, And I had got a call from Lima Land is one of the main tracks we run. It's owned by the University of Northwestern Ohio. Well, it's NASCAR sanctioned, so NASCAR had called Lima Land looking for a car to put in a show. So they didn't have anything ready because the college has race cars.
Yeah.
So they called me and said, "Hey, would you have a car available to put in NASCAR's booth at the PRI show?" Which was last weekend, is why I couldn't do this interview.
Oh,
then.
really?
So my car was actually in NASCAR's booth.
Oh, that's cool.
In Indianapolis at that show. So it was pretty good exposure for me, and we had a good time.
Absolutely. Why I think and exposure is always good, but you got to have the talent to go along with it too. I mean, I could put one of my junk cars there, and no one would give a shit when I raced.
Well, there's a lot of ingredients that go into it, and I got a lot of good people that's helped me over the years. And my dad and mom, obviously they passed away, but they were my biggest supporters. But my wife, my kids, I got Rick Zock, my crew chief. He lives down by Columbia City, but he actually works over here. Oh, close to Wawaka some way. B&J Specialties, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, my neighbor just down the road, Mike Selby, it's his family that owns that tool shop.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that your crew chief worked. Yeah, that's just a few miles down the road is where that is. Then
we was able to land a pretty good sponsor for this coming season, and obviously money is a major issue when it comes to racing because it's so expensive.
That's the only part, and I don't think there's any way around it. That's the only part about racing that it does hurt, because it does. Well, in my style of racing, you want to talk about expensive. How many times you kiss the wall? I mean, I hit everything but the pace car out there. That gets expensive after a while.
It does. It's a lot of work too, but we was able to land Ferris lawnmowers. A lot of people don't know Ferris does, tractors and stuff.
Yeah.
They've gotten heavy into the lawnmowers and stuff, so we picked them up as a sponsor. And one of our good friends works at a place that does Ferris, and they sponsored them. And so I bought a lawnmower from them last year because the Ferris sponsors them. And then he's like, "We're quitting, and this sponsorship is available," and they helped me get it.
Nice.
So it worked out really well.
Heck, I think on my next lawnmowers, mine's about to take puke. I'm gonna have to check out Ferris lawnmowers.
Get a Ferris, they're the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to check them out. Well, I tell you what, if I ever get all legal beagle with Wawaka Winery, you might have another sponsor right on there.
I'll tell you what, when I walked in, I was really impressed. This is really nice.
I kind of. It's been a labor of love for me, and I never, in my wildest dreams, thought. Well, you've gotten to know me. You know I'm not the most cultured individual in the world. so making wine just usually don't add up. And I think some people that have came in to try the wine has been surprised as they looked at me like, and I've had a few people go, "You made this?" Yeah.
When you told me you was into wine, I thought it was whining.
I did a lot of that when I drove a race car. There's a few guys out there that can attest to that. Some of my whining though, there was some guy. Well, I don't think I deserved as much of the paybacks that I got. That's the thing about racing though. If you make the wrong person mad, they will pay you back one way or another.
Oh yeah.
And so you got kind of, and I know this about you because you told me you've never seen me wheel a car, but I don't think you needed to. But you told me the best way to get back at them is don't be an ass. Win the race.
There you go.
And it is, but
make them mad.
And it takes a lot of. It takes a cool head to do that. You can't be upset.
It's not the UFC. You're not going out there and getting all worked up and punch somebody's head off.
Yeah, you can definitely tell you were attacked. Yeah, because that was my problem. I'd lose my head.
If you race with emotion, you're gonna get in trouble.
And that's exactly. You are able to. Set everything aside. You had a job to do, and I could see the focus, and you could tell that was there. Where me, I get pissed off and I'm not racing no more. I'm gonna wreck the guy, and it made it for entertaining for the stands. But yeah, it was best off I get out of the car. If I ever do get back into racing though, and I would hope that you would, and I think you would, give me a little advice here and there. And this is way down the road. My mother would have to pass on because she didn't like when I raced. And I so want to get the dirt because that looks. I did pavement. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. But dirt, I haven't tried it. But that looks fun to me.
Well, my mom forced us to go racing, so we was pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my mom had this magical power over my dad, and I never figured out what it was until I got married.
Got married. That's all. Well, I think that happens the best way. My dad was, and you've never met my parents, but my dad, when he was alive, a good way to compare him is Clint Eastwood. And not a lot of people would cross his path, but that little tiny woman had the control. He wouldn't ever cross mom. So yeah, and I think in marriage, I tried it one time, and no, I think I'm one of those Mustangs that women, they try to tame me, but it just doesn't work out well for them. But are you going to be racing? Because I know down in Florida they always have those races. When is that coming up? Are you going to be racing down there again?
That's the first week of February, and because the college UNOH owns the track, they take students down. And in the beginning, me and Terry Hall would drive the cars, and the students would crew on the cars.
Okay.
And so we would go down every year, and I think that was 3 or 4 years, and now they've expanded it so they got student drivers, so the students are actually driving. Okay. And then the students do the crewing, and then Terry drives one of the semis down, and I drive a van load of students down, and we just try to hang out and mentor, just that's pretty cool. That's neat. Drive them back and forth from the track.
Yeah, well, that's a good experience for the students, and plus you probably get a kick out of that too, don't you?
It is. It's a pretty cool team. I mean, my boys played basketball, and I like all those kind of sports. They're great. But with a racing team, there's nobody on the bench. You got everybody's either doing tires or working on the motors, or you got drivers, and so everybody that's there is in the game all the time. It ain't like we're somewhere they're sitting on a bench waiting for their turn. It's like everybody's got their part, and it works out really well.
Yeah, and another thing I always liked about racing, and I talk about how I pissed off a lot of people, but I made a lot of friends in it too. And I think families, you coming from a racing family. I wasn't from a racing family, but I got to know other racing family. I got to know, a good friend of mine, Harvey Taylor.
Yeah.
You know Harvey.
Harvey bought a car from me.
Yeah, and Harvey and Josh, his boy, raced. Yeah. They were both good racers. Harvey, I consider him a brother too. I mean, me and him got, and you never heard this story, is how I got to know the Taylors were originally through work. We're in the trailer factories, and I knew they were a decent race team, and I was just starting out. I didn't know what the heck I was doing at all. It was obvious, and I asked him if I could tag along on their modified team, or not their modified, but their late model team, if I could learn, just give me scrub jobs. I don't care. I just want to be around it to learn. He said, "Oh yeah, no problem. We can always use an extra hand." And so the first time out on track, it was just a test session, and I was excited, and I wanted to make sure that they knew I wasn't going to be there to goof off. I was all geared up, and Harvey handed me a tire, because him and Ryan Barth always...
That's his son-in-law.
Yeah,
right.
And he always did the measuring the tires, and he did all that, and where everything's going to go, and he did a lot of the chassis. Him and Harvey would always put their heads together and figure out how we're going to set it up. Well, Harvey handed me a tire. He said, "Put this in the right front." All right. And I mean, full bore, I wanted to be, I'm here to work. And I slapped that tire in, and we had the car up. And Josh was in the driver's seat waiting. And I was getting the lug nuts on, and Harvey was standing there, and he looked at me, he looked again, and his eyes got big. He goes, "Cripe." And I kept going because I wanted to prove to them I'm here to work. He goes, "Cripe." I go, "What?" Turned the tire around. I put the damn thing on backwards. You could hear Josh yelling in the car going, "What's that dumbass doing?" I felt yay big. And Harvey knew it was all nerves. So they let me hang around for a few more years. But I always enjoyed the track, and it's a good atmosphere. I mean, yeah, it can be rough at times, but it was a good atmosphere because you got a lot of track friends. I mean, and I know through hanging out with you, you got a lot of track friends too, and you get to know them, you get pretty close with them through the years, don't you?
I got a lot of good friends, but I would say that 90% of my close friends are all racers or friends of racers or crew members or whatever. And when my parents died, there was guys that I didn't really even care to race with because I thought they was dirty or you know just didn't really care for them, whatever. And they sent flowers to the funeral home, which made me think, you know, in life, racing is just kind of a small part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so they
actually
just
care.
Yeah, they do. And even though you get mad at them, you don't want anything bad to happen.
Exactly. It's kind of like when you know, growing up, my brothers, we beat the crap out of each other, but at the end of the day,
same deal.
Exactly. It's the exact same deal. It's a racing family. Yeah, exactly. And I know there's a couple people I threw fists in when I raced, but we still liked each other at the end of the day.
The problem is nowadays, back 20, 30 years ago, they do the fisticuff and then go down to Denny's and eat breakfast. Now you gotta go to anger management.
It's it's all political correctness now, and I tell you, I don't mix well in that world. I've gotten myself in a little bit of trouble. That's why thank God we tape this and then we go through editing, because I try not to tick off people. I've already ticked off my mother once. But so where do you see the future next year then? Same schedule and
yeah, we got a brand new car, and like I said, we picked up Ferris as a sponsor, and we was able to land a few more smaller sponsors because we were going to be in that booth with NASCAR, because NASCAR draws they draw a big group of people. So
absolutely,
we was able to pick up some sponsors because we had their products on the car. So that worked out well. But
cool,
it's like, as long as my health holds up and as long as financially I can afford to do it, I'm gonna race until I just can't do it anymore. It's all I know.
Yeah, well, that, and I noticed with me, and I'm not from a racing family, but I just tried it for shit and giggles. I'm going to try it, and it got in my blood. I got addicted to it. And
it's very addictive. I had when I got out of high school, and I went to school with Max Weber, by the way. We graduated. Graduated the same year. He's a great guy. He'll make a great sheriff.
I'm really hyped up about him being. Well, I don't want to get ahead of it, but God, I hope he gets sheriff. I really think it'd be a good one.
But anyways, I went to work right out of high school, and I told my dad I'm depressed, and he's like, "What are you depressed about?" And I was like, "Get up and go to work every day." And I said, "It's just he says, "You need a race car." And I was like, "You need to have your head examined." But anyways, he asked me if I had any money, and that night he hooked the trailer up and he stopped and bought a car on the way home from work. He says, "Give me your money." And so I think it was $1,500 or whatever. But ever since that day, all winter long, I couldn't wait till spring. I'd get out of bed and go to work because I knew that if I didn't, I wasn't going to be able to afford this race car. So it just gave me something to look forward to. It doesn't matter where it's bowling. It could be anything. Anything that you really enjoy gives you the motivation.
It does, and that's what I found, and that's why. And I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm not gonna run down a regular job. It's paid my bills, and I'm thankful every day that I'm able to go in and work on these RVs, and I'm thankful that they're selling, because the way I looked at it, the same way you are, is that's before it was giving me money to pour into my race car, and now it's giving me money to do this, and and hopefully someday being in another race car. We'll see. But you have to have something in life to look forward to, I always feel. I think you hit the nail on the head there, because if you don't, just going through the motions, that can be miserable. I think people really need to expand themselves and expand their horizon and just look for something. Right.
When I was in school, I done track and all that stuff, so I wanted to go because we done all that stuff and it's exciting. And then as soon as I got out of high school and I go to work every day and every day, it's just like this.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, because I was in wrestling and I liked hearing the crowd and all that. Then you get out and you're like, well, shit, and then exactly
just go to work every day.
Yeah, and we have to work, but you have to. Well, just like we were talking earlier, and I think if people just step out of the box too, and I think one of my guests, Glenn Stills, touched on this, is step out of your box, because like this, the winery, who would have thought? I would have never thought in a million years that I would have wanted to be interested in how to make wine. And I just step out of your box, you might find something you like. You don't have to just stick with the same old, because life's boring if you do that. If you step out of the box, make it interesting, maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Maybe you fall flat on your face. Screw it, you tried.
Well, I was talking to you earlier about Richard Childress, and I don't know if that's where he started out at in business or whatever, but when we won one of the NASCAR championships at Lima Land, we was able to go to Charlotte, and we were looking for places to go visit, and we went to his winery, and it was just like, whoa, this is unbelievable.
I've really got to get down there, because Glenn gave me an invitation to go down there, and I even said something to my plant manager, who is Ryan Barth. He's actually my boss at work.
Wow.
And so I try not to tick off Ryan too much. He's a good guy. He is. But I asked him because I'm not sure if I've been to. We'll get a week paid vacation if I've been there 5 years. I told him to check on that, because I'm not sure if I've been there 4 or 5 years, because Glenn gave me an open invitation, and I really want to go down there, and I want to see Childress's winery. He said it's
really cool. It is really cool.
And well, heck, you mix racing and wine. Heck yeah, I want to go look at it. So, I think we touched on pretty much everything I had in mind. But I see. I'm. You're sporting my Wawaka Winery hat. Everybody gets a free hat that's on here, but
helps cover my bald head.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I'm getting there, buddy. That's why I've learned to. Well, everybody tells me to get a haircut, but it's gonna screw up my comb over if I get a haircut. But I don't think the comb over is working anymore.
Hat's better.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna start cutting my hair a little bit more. Gal over by Topeka's cuts my hair, and I gotta pay her for some more visits. But
this is pretty cool. I hope that it grows over the years.
Yeah.
And get all your permits and everything that you need.
Yeah. We're just baby stepping, and I'm waiting on permits. Everything's filed, and as long as I stay out of trouble. And so that's where my friends come in. Say, well, that's the thing is there's a comedian that I like, and I really related well to him because, he got married because he said, he's got to the point where we do need that significant other when you're starting to do something stupid, she'll stop you. Well, that's my problem is I don't have that significant other going, no, because I'm always, screw it, let's see what happens. And
watch this, fellas.
Yeah. So, it might. If there's any single women out there that's up for a challenge, but still waiting on my Shermanator T-shirt.
I need to get you one of them.
Yeah. You've gotten Chris's kids one, you got his wife one, you got Chris one. Well, let's not worry about Jason.
I'll take care.
I hope you enjoy my hat. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad you came out.
Yeah.
And best of luck to you in future races. I know me and Chris were even talking this year. We were going to come to one race and it didn't work out for us, but I know next year I'm going to make room. I want to come. I miss watching you drive. and a few others that I miss watching driving too. So anybody that's into racing, I tell you, I like pavement, but dirt track, that is so exciting to watch. I love watching dirt, and
it's where it's at now. I ran asphalt for a long time, and my wife told me that if I ever went back to asphalt racing, she wouldn't go anymore because it ain't exciting.
Yeah, that dirt track racing. Well, there's so many lanes, you guys.
Slide jobs.
Oh, I love it. I love watching it. It's so exciting. I like watching. I think anybody that likes racing really needs to get out and support their local racetracks, because I've never been to a NASCAR race live. I've never been. I've always watched it on TV. I like racing. But I will take small town dirt track racing over everything. I love watching it.
They actually have a race going on right now in St. Louis inside the Dome.
Oh, really?
And it's full-size dirt cars like mine. And I'd like to do it. I thought about trying it this year, but maybe next year I can have a car together. And I think they had like 108 modifieds just in our division, the division that I run, trying to make a 20-car field.
Boy, that would be fun.
Indoors, in December.
Yeah, that would be something. Well, I know that little Fort Wayne Rumble's coming up, and they have the...
That's a pretty good one, too. I think Tony Stewart's going to be there.
Is he going to be there this year? I was wondering if he was going to be here this year.
They're advertising it, so...
Okay, I hope he is, because... see, I always thought, heck, you watch those guys on TV, you think, heck, I can hang in with them. I tell you, watching that guy wheel that cart live, I even said something. I got to talk to him. He was a little upset with me at first, but then I made him laugh, and then he found out I'm just a goofball, and then he chatted with me. But I always thought, heck, I can do with those guys. No, I can't. The man has talent. He's
not very fan friendly, but the man can drive. He can drive a race car.
He is, but he ain't. Because he was great to me. And I understood his point, because when I first met him, that was his own thing there. And I took pictures of him the night before, and I walked up to him. I wanted an autograph, and he just said no, because he saw what I wanted. And he stared me down, and then I go, well, you want mine? And then he started laughing, so that was my way in. And he explained to me, he said, at NASCAR I would, but he said, this is my own thing. He said, the minute I signed that, he said, everybody's going to be on top of us, we can't do our work. I said, no, and then he chatted. I talked to him for a good half an hour, and then the next year he actually remembered me, because I walked by him, he slugged me. And
you're kind of unforgettable.
Yeah, I think so. And but no, I think there's times, and everybody has their moments too. Because I think I've been a little, not that I had crowds of fans follow me, but there's been times I had a bad day at the racetrack, and someone come up to me, and I would be an ass. And there was other times I was a great guy to them too, which you should be nice all the time, but sometimes your emotions get the best of you, and man, I think that's his case too. But once I got time, he's just an Indiana boy. I enjoyed talking to him, and I really like watching him run, because that man can wheel a car wow, it was unbelievable watching him run.
Yeah, when nobody else can pass indoors, he figured out a way to do it.
That's what just blew my mind. I thought, no, I can't hang with those guys. After I saw that, I thought, no, he's at a whole different level than me, which most are. But so yeah, that'll be coming up here right between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah. I know a friend of mine I'm hoping to have on here that runs the cars, old Racing Jason Stump.
Oh, yeah.
Him and I don't know if Maynard Schaefer's going to be running that or not. I know Jason is, but I'll have to talk to Maynard. He is. But
there's a lot of the local guys that go down there.
Yeah, it's a fun little race to go to. I'm planning on going at least one night and watching. So it's a fun little thing to go to. But well, hey, I'm glad you came out. I really appreciate it. And well, before we leave, and I told him I was going to say at the beginning of the podcast and I forgot, but how did you like those ribs?
Man, them were delicious. There's too many. I'm going to take them home and eat them for breakfast.
Yeah, tomorrow. That's what I got leftovers tomorrow. And once again, because we bought those same ribs from, it's a bar called Fat Boys Grill and Bar in Ligonier. And Rob Dotson is the owner. and everybody told me his ribs are phenomenal, and they have not lied. And I think I found my rib joint.
Yeah.
And because my goal is in these podcasts, I'm going to get food from different places that I like. I'm not going to promote someone I don't like. And I like those ribs, and I was in the mood for ribs again. And yeah, I'm stuffed. I know that.
Very good.
So yeah, if anybody out there, I highly recommend the ribs there, and I know his burgers are good because I had
that coleslaw was probably the best I've ever had too.
Yeah, I'm not a big anything that veggies. I mean, the coleslaw probably is good. I just don't like if it has a vegetable in it. It ain't for me. I got kicked out of the house one time because I didn't eat my vegetables. Mom's gonna be mad for me saying that, but facts are facts. But well, anyways, it's good seeing you. As always, a pleasure seeing you, and I'm looking forward to many more years watching Shermanator kicking some tail. Maybe a junior Shermanator coming up. Well, hopefully, we'll see. And
we bored your dog to sleep. He's snoring.
Yeah, well, he's got a tough life. And if you ever need a backup driver, just give me a call. All
right.
I'll be there at a moment's notice, buddy. So, well, thanks, Todd. Thanks for whoever my tens of fans out there that's watching right now. And have a good night from Wawaka Winery.